The wildlife. The wildlife. There goes the rabbit.
You know, the Five Guys is like 90% food and half of hers. 80% of food, that's really good enough.
Not eat it, back to that pork thing. If you follow the actual food rules, Muslims cannot touch pork. They are considered non-conceivable.
Your voices are on camera. It's going to be the title of today's video. Muslims cannot touch pork.
Don't go
But
away.
it's a cat.
What happened?
Get him to look up here.
You know how to command his attention.
No, he doesn't even know how to command his own attention.
What's the likelihood you're going to remember this? Isn't it supposed to be addressed somehow?
No, nothing. No idea.
Lindsay, where did you put the stick?
Inside the envelope.
Why?
So I remember.
Such a new my phone. Carrying it around, then throw it.
Another tough game against the Celtics. We did win 103-95. We're on the T5 today. I don't know why, but we are. That's Kevin Love. So that was a pretty interesting game. Man, this thing isn't great in low light at all. Although this isn't low light, this is no light. Okay, I'm going to show you what I've been doing for the majority of the day. Went to film some clips when I was out and about in the car, and there's no SD card in the camera, per usual. But spent most of the day out here, no, not with the M5, with the mower. Jacked up the SN, took the wheels off, and spent like 4 hours totally rebuilding the belt drive. Notice we've got brand new belts in there, though, those blue ones. So new drive belts on the output shaft through the tensioner and over to the wheel, and then brand new brake pads. I was actually able to go over to my shop. I was going to have them weld the old ones. I'll show you what these brake pads look like. One of them has a broken loop on it, and it was just not, that's the good one. It was not creating enough friction to stop the mower at all. It was driving like crap. So, if we notice on the semi-good one, it had, gotta focus this damn thing, it had these two loops right here. See, they're clearly two. On the old one, or on the left one, it had a second one, but it certainly wouldn't have the post go through it. And then there was a crack in the weld right there. See how you can see the box through that a little bit? Yeah, that was no good. Pad material wasn't bad, but they're not even perfectly round anymore either. So my shop, Sohars, was able to find two of them there and sold them to me for cheap. Had everything off down to the splines that come out of the frame. I totally rebuilt all this with more washers and got everything lined up really well and tightened and tuned just to adjust, just to spec, and it actually drives really well now. It's got plenty of drive power to just walk uphill, and if I pull the brakes, it actually locks the wheel up. Now we have full contact with, I'm going to call it the rotor, but whatever it is on the wheel. So I should probably adjust the tire inflation and actually cleaned a little bit of mud off it, but I'm seeing I missed some that's still on the oil filter there. We pay for this service over the winter. They replaced the fuel filter, the oil filter, changed the oil, air filter. Did I already say that? Fuel filter, oil filter, air filter, change the oil and sharpen the blades. And they're supposed to do all this brake stuff too, but they don't. Got to cut the service tag off still. And did the same thing on the other side. So it should be good to go now. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the pedals that I did the other day. The E39 doesn't have footwell lighting like the E46 does, but those up there are now Phillips and the correct size, at least in comparison to what I had originally installed if you saw the DIY, with nuts and washers on the back. So that should be quite a bit stronger and done. Okay, good morning. Now it's early. It's 1:07, wrapping things up. Pretty productive day with the mower. Didn't really go anywhere aside from the parts store up in Highland Road to pick that stuff up. Razvan dropped by for about a half hour. We swapped MAFs in his 540, couple engine codes. Plenty of M5 guys were saying, or M5 board guys were saying that those codes are MAF related. So we put in a known good mass airflow sensor. It took about 10 minutes. Ended up breaking the band clamp or the banjo clamp, hose clamp, whatever it is. Somehow it backed off fine, but then when we went to tighten it, it kept the threaded part kept getting locked up and twisted in the screw. So we ended up cutting it off. We're gonna have to get a new one. He's going into the dealer tomorrow. Coolant leak we thought was as easy as tightening down the fill cap as tight as it would go. Not the case. It's still leaking somewhere. It's not the upper hoses. It's not the expansion tank. Doesn't look like it's a thermostat or water pump housing either. It would be really cool if it were as easy as the drain plug, that little blue $6 plug. So he's going to pick one of those up, and just because it's cheap, and then we're going to do a visual under the car. We're going to have to pull the belly pan and see if we can figure out where it's leaking. Radiator was replaced. It's fairly new, so don't think it's going to be the radiator itself. Hopefully just some stupid hose clamp, some fitting, but we'll diagnose that later on. Got the mirrors out for the M5. Since it's going in Monday, I wanted to dig those out, get them in the garage and ready to go on Monday. Opened them up and give them a good look over and light. I bought these things back in December. They've been sitting in the basement for a couple months now. I got a flashing battery light, so we're gonna go quick now. In the right one, the left one's the one I'm really worried about replacing, but the right one, like, this does not line up right. It's like the mirror, I don't want to, well, I'm replacing it anyways, but it's like that. It is not lined up right. It's supposed to be there, and I can't force it back into position. So I'm going to contact ECS. Their return policy is 90 days, but it's been sitting in my basement. It's literally untouched, and they better exchange it for another one. And the price has tripled since I bought it. So I'm really hoping their support can work with me. I've spent thousands of dollars with them on literally thousands of parts. So they should be able to exchange it for me. Maybe a couple days delayed getting that back if they do ship me another one, because it says ships in 5 days. So it's got to come from another warehouse or Germany or somewhere, but I'll contact support tomorrow during business hours and see what they can do for me. I'm going to put this battery on the charger. Tomorrow's Friday. We're going to hang out. Alex is coming over. We're hanging out and do the accounting work. So I don't know what else is going on. Maybe get over to the grandparents. They have a couple projects. Okay, I'm gonna go shower, get to bed. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Friday. Good night.